All right, I wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk about the story of Samson in the Bible. One of my all-time favorite stories, and it's one of those stories that has repeated itself over and over and over. Um, even now, it's something that happens, and it's something that we see all the time. And I wanted to share with you guys that story, and I wanted to translate it over into my own life and my own experiences, and just talk about relationships a little bit. Um, so the story of Samson, basically, God gave Samson, physical strength. We're talking about the strongest guy that has ever lived, the most powerful man that has ever lived. There's no Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone. You go down the line, that there is no man in the past or present that could stand up to him in his prime. The most powerful man that has ever lived. Uh, and that's the gift that God gave him, was just physical strength. And God gives us all abilities, right? And all good talent is lended to us by God to use for and toward his glory. But oftentimes we as people, we take those talents and those abilities and we use them for our own personal gain, right? And that's the mistake that we as people make. We take that talent and we take that ability and we use it for what we can get instead of, what it was intended for. Um, so people take their singing ability and their ability to play an instrument or whatever it may be, and they use it for everything that they can get. They use it to get the money, to get the notoriety, to get the fame, the fortune, and for whatever they can get, instead of using it toward the glory of God, right? So we see this all the time. So the story of Samson goes, strongest guy on the planet, and there was an opposing group, and there was a woman within this group, and we all know who this woman was, Delilah, right? And he was attracted to her, and she got close to him. He allowed that to happen, and he allowed her to break down that wall that he had built up, to protect himself, because he knew the secret of his strength, right? And he allowed this woman to get close to him, and she began to question him. To put it into modern day terms, she began to ask him, "Okay, look, what are you doing? You doing some roids, you doing some growth hormone, you doing some creatine, whey protein. What are you doing? What are you taking? How are you able to do the stuff that you're able to do? This is crazy. You're just too strong. You're just too powerful. Where's it coming from?" And he's like, no, I ain't doing no roids. I ain't doing no growth hormone. I ain't injecting none of that crap into myself. No. This is all God given. This is just an ability that God gave me. This is all God given right here. All right. And so she kept on him and kept on him and kept on him. We've all faced this in life, right? Where we meet that person that just, we think they're legit. We think that they're seriously wanting to get to know us for us, but there's always a catch, right? We've all experienced this in our lives where there's always, at times an ulterior motive, right? Maybe they're at us for money. Maybe they're at us for what we got or what they can get out of us, And she had a plan all along to take him down. But here she was getting close to him and swooning him. And we've all had that person at one point or another, that tries to infiltrate that wall that we all have built up in some kind of way, right? To protect ourselves, right? And we've all been hurt by somebody at some point. Girl, guy, even family, right? So she starts asking him, what is the secret of this strength that you have? This just inhuman strength. And he's like, it's all God. She's like, okay. Well, she kept asking him, and he's like, look. You bind my hands in these kind of ropes right here, I won't be able to break them. And of course, he was lying. He was messing with her. He broke the ropes. And then it went into, okay, well, if you bind me in these chains, this special type of chain, special type of metal, I'm not going to be able to break these chains. He broke them. And everything that he said, he was just trying to, God, would you leave me alone, He didn't want to reveal the secret. So she starts getting all upset and acting all like, if you really cared about me, if you really loved me, you would tell me. And oh my God, we've all faced something like this, just nagging and just, would you just leave me alone? This is not something I want to talk about, okay? We've all been there. You know what I mean? It's just that constant nagging, that constant this is not something I want to talk about. Just leave me alone. It is what it is. I don't want to go there with you. But she kept on him. She kept on him. She kept on him. And finally, he told her, look, this is God-given. Yeah, it is. I ain't on no roids. I ain't on no growth hormone. I ain't doing none of that. God gave me this ability, but it's in my hair. Because Samson had some long hair, right? He had that long, like Fabio hair, the long. And told her, look, I can't cut my hair. That's the secret. It's God given. But if I were to cut my hair, my strength would leave me. So what does this chick do? What's this heifer do? She waits until he falls asleep, right? Because he's tired, because she's been messing with him all day and for months, weeks, won't leave the guy alone. So finally he passes out, right? He's like, gosh, chick is driving me nuts. He falls asleep. She cuts his hair while he's asleep. And it's over with then. He's taken up by soldiers. He's taken into their camp, basically. They burn his eyes out. They stick, piece of metal into a furnace, a fire, whatever you want to say. They stick it into his eyes. They burn the guy's eyes out. So not only has he lost his strength at this point, but now he's seriously jacked up. He can't see. So they put him on a grinding mill. If you don't know what a grinding mill is, it's just a big, concrete wheel. Right? Got a handle on the side, and you push that handle, and you grind corn, you grind whatever it is that you're wanting to grind, but it's all done by hand. So basically, he's a slave at this point, and it's over with, and he's feeling pretty stupid at this point. And he's in some serious pain, and he knows that he's gone against God, and he's revealed that secret, and he knows he's made a really bad choice and a bad mistake, right? He's lost his strength. Not only that, he's lost his vision. God's lost some trust in him because that was his strength. That was his secret. He wasn't supposed to reveal it. Went and did it anyway. And now his life is seriously in some bad shape, right? So he's grinding this corn, whatever it is. He's on this grinding mill, working like a dog. And outside of this area where he's at, he hears all this commotion going on, and they're basically out there, this whole group of people, and they're worshiping this huge idol, right? They're praying to this idol, and it's ticking him off. He can hear it. He's still got his ears, right? He's still got his hearing, so he hears all of this going on. And eventually he calls out to God, and he says, look, I know I messed up. Just give me the strength one last time, and I'm going to take these people out, and I'm going to go with them, and I'm fine with that. I made a mistake, but I can't stand what I'm hearing right now. You know, they're out there worshiping this idol. They're out there. It's making me sick. I can't take it anymore. God, just give me the ability one last time, and I'm going to take out my enemies, and I'm going to go with them, and I'm fine with that. But I'm humbling myself, basically, in modern day terms, I'm humbling myself. I know I messed up. Just give me that ability one last time, and I'm going to take these people out because they're mocking you by worshiping this idol. So God gives him the strength one last time, and he goes outside, and the roof supports, giant pillars holding up the roof of this temple or whatever it is. He gets in between them. He pushes those pillars to the side. Roof caves in, kills everybody, including himself, right? And takes them out. So right here, we see that God is a God of second chances. You know what I mean? Sometimes we mess up in life, we make mistakes, but God is always there. We can always run back to him because God never goes anywhere, right? He's always standing at the door of our hearts, but often, it's not him that walks away, it's us that walk away. And we always have that opportunity to run back to him. And a lot of times, I think part of the mistake is when things are going good, when things are going great, we're not running to God then a lot of times because everything's good. Everything's going great in life. Everything's going good. But in those bad times, that's when we want to run to God for help, It's kind of like a kid running to a parent when things are going bad, but when things are going good, I'm just going to sit over here and play my video games or whatever. Everything's cool, but, car breaks down. I got to call Dad. Oh, I got to call Dad now. My car's not running, That's the thing about a relationship with God is that it needs to be constant. It needs to be daily, right? We daily need to be going to him and just trying to better that relationship because that's what it is. It's a relationship. And one of the things that I've been saying the past few years, and it's stuck with a lot of people, I've had a lot of people come against me and say that, that's not true. It absolutely is true, what I'm about to say. It is not God's love for us that gets us to heaven. You're like, well, what are you talking about? If it were God's love alone that got us to heaven, then every single person that has ever lived on this earth in the end would be there. And we all know that is not going to happen. See, God's love for us is unconditional, but But it's our love for him that gets us into his kingdom, because it's, he did everything for us. Dying on that cross was everything that he needed to do to bridge that gap between, man and the sin that came into the world, and that gap that was between man and God. When he died on that cross, that's all he needed to do to bridge that gap. But it's not only accepting him, but it's wanting and striving to have that relationship with him. That is the difference, So, and that's all on us, right? So, none of us are ever going to be perfect. But it's that daily striving that makes the difference. And, you go and you look and you think about the disciples. They were all handpicked by Christ. These guys were, in no way were they perfect. And they messed up all the time. And he had to set them straight a number of times. And a number of times he had to come to the rescue because they couldn't get the job done. He told them what they needed to do and what they could do and what they had the ability to do. But oftentimes they still couldn't do it. Right? They had to run to him like a kid running to a parent, right? We're trying to cast this demon out of this girl and it's just not happening. You have to come into the picture. Hey, look, this is the kind of spirit that's got to be prayed out. You got to get on it and you got to stay on it. Keep praying. Just things like that. And so with relationships, we often get into situations where we meet somebody and when we first meet them, everything seems to be great, and then months down the road we start to see a different side of that person, whether it be a friendship or a relationship. So you have to be very, very aware and remain aware and look for the warning signs, right? And in my own personal life, I'm not sharing this story to talk about the past or anything like that. I'm going to tell you this story because it's practical. I was dating this female, and just like the story of Samson, she got close to me, and in the beginning, I really knew, I'm like, she was an attractive female, okay, redhead. Everybody knows, pretty much everybody knows I had a thing for redheads in the past. Just that color, that hair color, just, you guys know it, it pops and your eyes go to it, right? And so, for the most part, the sayings are true. Redheads are either buck wild or they're nuts. And for the most part, that's true in my experience. Not all of you redheads. Not all of you, but for the most part, that's been true in my experience. So, dating this redhead and things are going good, and then I start to see some little things about this person that I just don't like. But I keep trying with this person, and to make a longer story shorter, we were, at the time, I was living in the state of Missouri, and this person had a friend that she worked with. Her and her husband had this great big house, right? They had a couple of smaller kids, and so she was staying with this friend of hers. She had her own room, free reign of the house, her own room, decent size room. So we get together. I end up moving in with her, which was a huge mistake. So we got our own room. We got access to the house, to just great big house, right? And so it's winter time. It's dead winter. And at the time I had a Ford Mustang, right? So I get off of work and I'm driving home in the snow. And anybody that knows anything about a Mustang, a Camaro, Chevy Nova, Chevy SS, anything like that, rear-wheel drive, you barely get on the gas and that rear end wants to step out, right? So I managed to get home But I had a hard time getting home because that back end is just stepping out on me. Every time I just barely get on the gas, that back end is stepping out. So I get home, right? Because I knew how to handle my car, even in those situations. You just barely get on that. It's just gas and brake, I just knew how to handle it. Got home, walk in, and it's just snowing like crazy, right? So I get home, I walk in, she's sitting on her bed on her laptop, right? Just doing whatever, probably playing Farmville. That was huge back then, right? And I say, hey, no, there was no, hey, how was work? There was none of that. She just looks at me, gives me this crazy look. I'm like, oh God, what's going on here? And she starts going off on me. Every time you're not around me, you're calling your ex-wife and blah, 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 blah. I know y'all got something going on. All that kind of crap. And I just got off of work. I just had a hard time getting home. I'm like, what the? Not going to go into any choice words, but I'm like, well, what is this crap? Every time I'm not around you, I'm calling my ex-wife. I'm like, yeah, I do call my ex-wife. We do have kids together. I want to know how my kids are doing. There ain't nothing going on between me and that heifer. I don't want, I ain't got those feelings for her anymore. I call her because we have smaller kids and I want to know about my kids. So she just keeps on and keeps on and keeps on. And I'm wet, it's been snowing. I just got out of my car, I just want to get on some dry clothes and I just want to chill. I've had a long day at work. So she just keeps on and keeps on. There's something going on. Like, it's not like I don't call my ex-wife when I'm around you. It's just I want to know how my kids are. I can't, I don't know if she got into my phone records or what, but she was looking, seeing where I was calling her, and I was calling about my kids, right? That's all. So she decides, she reaches over, she has a nightstand next to her, and there's one of those great big Yankee candles in the jars, right? So she takes this jar, and I'm talking Joe Montana, John Elway, Troy Aikman. She hurls this Yankee candle in this jar at my head, and it bounces off my head. This thing doesn't just bounce off my head, but this thing shatters off my skull. Bam! And I'm dazed, obviously, because it come out of nowhere. So she's taking it to a whole nother level. I mean, she legitimately thinks there's something going on. She's got it stuck in her mind that there's something going on that's totally not going on. So not only does she crack this jar off my skull, and I'm still standing, and I'm bleeding at this point, And she jumps up off the bed, and she jumps at me like a spider monkey from hell. And she's clawing, she's punching, she's swinging. And she was a decent-sized female. She was a little bit shorter than me, and just, had some size to her, man. I mean, she big boned, just, redhead, crazy as hell. And she's coming at me. And eventually I had enough, and I took her down in a side headlock, and I took her down to the ground, and I'm just talking to her. Her head's right here, and I'm just talking to her. And I say, look, I'm going to let you up, but if you come at me again, you're going to pay the price. You're going to pay the price. So I let her up. She says, okay. So I let her up to her feet. I back off. Here she comes again. I'm talking swinging, punching, clawing, scratching. So the same thing happens. I take her down again. Side headlock. Got her right here. I'm like, look, biatch, I'm going to tell you one more time. And somehow, some way, she got my forearm in her mouth, right? And she's clamped down. And at this point, I'm just getting madder and madder and madder and madder. And I'm like, I'm about to seriously hurt you. I don't want to. And I'm talking to her. I'm telling her, look, if you do not stop, you're going to get hurt. I don't believe in hitting women, but you're putting yourself in a really bad position with somebody you don't want to mess with in this way. You don't. Man, woman, boy, girl, 18 or 81, you piss me off, you're getting your ass whipped. Plain and simple. You know, pardon the language. But that's just the way it is. And, you know, and that's one of the things that I've always heard, don't hit a woman, don't hit a woman. There are certain situations in life where you got to defend yourself. You just got to. You just got to. And that's exactly what I had to do. Because I let her up again, and I told her at this point, I just want to go. I'm getting my keys and I'm leaving. Her response, you ain't going nowhere. I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving. So I go to walk away, and here she comes at me again. Pushing, shoving, swinging. And, you know, I hate to say it, but I turned around and schwack, one time, laid her out. Laid her completely out. Picked her up, put her in the bathtub, soaked her head, turned that water on, and the police were eventually called. They get there, and I'm still bleeding. I mean, I'm bleeding. I got blood all over me. Cops get there. She wakes up eventually. She wasn't out for too long. You know, I'm calling the cops. I'm like, go ahead. Go ahead. Let's see what they say. Because I'm in a whole lot worse shape than you right now. And they get there, and sure enough, she starts going in. He hit me. I'm like, you see this? You see this? You see this glass in my head? You see all this blood? Well, how'd that happen? You see that jar down there? Yeah. He said, look, lady, if anybody goes to jail today, it's going to be both of you. And from the looks of things, he's in a whole lot worse shape than you are. That's exactly what he said to her. So she backs off at that point, right? She don't want no part of that. So, yeah. So, you really got to stay on guard with every relationship. You never know what's going to happen. People, you really got to surround yourself with good people to the best of your ability, and look for the warning signs, right? And there are certain situations like this one that happened with me that just came out of nowhere. She just decided one day to trip out on me, and it just, you never know what's going to happen. But you also got to know when to walk away, right? Even the Bible tells us that we can care about people and love people, but we can walk away from them, dust the sand from off our feet, and walk away. That's just like with family. You can love family, but that doesn't mean that you got to be around them all the time. It doesn't mean that you have to be right up in there with them. You know, if there's drama there, if there's things that you don't agree with, you don't have to be, right there all the time. You can love people from a distance, and that's something that we all have to learn. You can love people from a distance, and you can even do it in silence. You know what I mean? You can, I don't want no part of that. I don't need that drama in my life. Don't need it. And I've had to do that with family. And there are certain family members that just, it's constant drama. It's constant. You tell them something, they run off and tell everybody else, and before you know it, everybody knows your business. I was telling you this in confidence, not so that you could take it and go run with it and tell everybody else. I can't stand that stuff. When you tell somebody something in confidence, you expect them to hold that and not go run off and tell the whole world, right? And it's just the point of it. I got nothing to hide, but when I tell you something, I don't need you going and telling everybody else. If I wanted them to know, I would tell them myself, right? So with relationships, just try your best to surround yourself with good people and try to look for the warning signs within those relationships, that if there's something you see that you don't really like, it may be time to back away. It may be time to step off and be like, I just can't deal with this person's drama. I can't trust this person. They've already proven I can't trust them. Know when to walk away. Basically what I'm saying. Know when to walk away. So, yeah. So if somebody's genuinely wanting to have a relationship with you and wanting to know you for you, they will make it happen in that way. They won't just try to get close to you for what that relationship can bring them. Because oftentimes people will come at you for what they can get out of you, whether it be money, whether it be the things that you have. I mean, different things, different situations. But if they're really wanting to know you, then they'll put forth the effort to get to know you for you. So just watch and pay attention and look for those warning signs in every relationship, and you'll be fine. But you gotta really stay on guard and just guard your relationships basically. And the most important relationship of all is, of course, your relationship with God, because once you get tighter with God, and the Holy Spirit will lead you away from people. Sometimes He'll tell you, hey man, you got to get out of this situation, you got to get away from this person. He'll definitely do that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about that, and definitely going back to my story, I definitely don't believe in hitting women, but there are certain situations, you got to defend yourself, and it's just, that's the way that it is. We all face different situations. Sometimes those situations are unfortunate. Sometimes you have to do something that you really don't want to do, but doesn't make you a bad person for defending yourself, no matter who it's against. If you got to defend yourself physically, you got to defend yourself physically. Doesn't matter who it's against. If you got to do it, you got to do it. And that's always been my belief, and is what it is. But sometimes you need to emotionally defend yourself by not allowing people to manipulate you, not allowing people to prey upon